Assist lunar navigation for one, and rendezvous and docking.
Why do you think space flight's important?
When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. I don't know what space exploration will uncover, but I don't think it'll be exploration just for the sake of exploration. I think it'll be more the fact that it allows us to see things that maybe we should have seen a long time ago, but just haven't been able to until now.
A common theme of the 2018 film First Man is the question of, is progress worth it? It being a historical movie based on the Apollo program, the progress in question would be the progress sought after during the space race. The Apollo program alone cost about $25 billion, which in today's economy would equal about $152 billion. It goes without saying that this is an exceedingly large amount of money, and people at the time knew that.
Well, they mostly think that it's ridiculous that we're spending so much money to go somewhere where we don't know anything about, and that the money could be used for a lot more helpful things.
In fact, there was a fair amount of opposition in the American people about going to the moon at all. Why put so many resources into a program that may not even succeed?
I think it would be interesting to talk more about whether this is the proper thing to do with the public treasury. Is the sort of dreams I would have would be a habitable New York City, for instance. It would seem to me that that would be a reasonable thing to do.
Not to mention that the project had already claimed the heftiest price of all. January 27th, 1967. The Apollo 1 module was running a launch rehearsal when an electrical fire swept through the cockpit. The three crew members, Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaff, all perished in the accident. Manned Apollo testing was halted for a period of 20 months. This, of course, didn't help with the public opinion of the project.
Do you question whether the program's worth the cost? In money and in lives?
What was the point of the project at all? Well, the entire program stemmed from a desire to beat the Soviet space program in the space race. In fact, from a certain perspective, the moon mission can be seen as done completely out of spite. NASA was falling behind the Soviets quickly. They knew if they wanted any hope of beating the Soviets, they had to beat them to the moon. Even during Apollo's development, the Soviets seemed to be one step ahead of them. Yes, it's true. The Apollo program was a project driven by conflict, government, and by desire for control. Maybe that's not worth the lives it cost after all. But that's not what this movie is about. This movie isn't about opposing institutions, not about the best and the brightest coming together to accomplish something great, but simply about a man. A single, individual man. The film is experienced through the eyes of Neil Armstrong. Not the engineer Neil Armstrong, not the astronaut Neil Armstrong, not even the American Neil Armstrong. The father, the husband, the man, Neil Armstrong. I'm not totally sure of the historical accuracy of the film. What I do know is that I adore what they've done with Neil Armstrong's character. There's so much to talk about here, but the most important part is the climax sequence of the film. The emotions shown in this scene are heartfelt and moving. I find it difficult to explain how this scene makes me feel. I get this strange sensation of individuality. Here, where the goal of the entire film is met, everything leading up to this seems to melt away, and the only thing left is me and the dirt I walk on. I can almost imagine myself in his shoes, thinking of times before when man would look up and see the very landscape he walks on today. Seeing the entire earth in one view, struggling to comprehend that that's where he came from. Yes, to the rest of the world's viewing, he is representative of American science, hard work, and victory. But to him, all alone, in the most alien place any human has ever been, he is representative of only himself. He isn't congratulating himself on being part of the greatest scientific achievement in history. The only thing he can think about as he walks in the desolate, hostile environment is his daughter. How sobering it must be to walk in a land you were never meant to be, upset the soil of a surface which has remained untouched since its creation. The feeling of a man with human problems doing something infinitely bigger than himself. In that moment, as he dedicates the entire project to his daughter, perhaps he thought, maybe it was worth it. Thank you, and take care out there.